Hello friends, in this video I'm gonna talk about an interesting topic called grafting. So what is grafting? Grafting, also known as graftage, is a horticultural technique whereby tissues of plants are joined together so that they continue their growth together. The upper part of the combined plant is called the scion, while the lower part is called the rootstock. The grafting technique is most commonly used in asexual propagation of commercially grown plants for the horticultural and agricultural business. In most cases, one plant is selected for its roots, and this is called the stock plant or the rootstock plant. The other plant is selected for its stems, leaves, flowers or fruits and is called the scion. The scion contains the desired genes to be duplicated in future production by the stock or the scion plant. Before going in detail about grafting techniques and advantages, let me explain few scenarios. Like, have you ever come across one of those miracle trees? Like an apple tree that produces 6 different kinds of apples, or a tree that grows plums, peaches and other fruits all on the same stem. Next, talking about another scenario, like you buy an orange tree that has the strong roots of one variety but the delicious fruit of another variety. What will you think? Won't you think about a method which can combine these two into one? Like, for generations, farmers, botanists and home gardeners have been using plant biology to make these ideas into reality through a technique called grafting, which is today's topic. Well, coming back. The concept of grafting. Firstly, you need to know a few parts of the plant. We are familiar with the outer layer of the plant in trees. We know this is bark. However, there is much more interesting layer of tissue just beneath the bark layer that is known as the cambium. This layer, that is the cambium, is undifferentiated, meaning that the tissue in it doesn't have any particular job yet. It's just waiting to be told what to do. This means that it can turn into anything the plant needs, like more bark, new vascular tissue, new branches and even some roots. Grafting takes advantage of this undifferentiated tissue layer by exposing it and giving it an idea of what to do. The vascular tissues here refer to the xylem and the phloem, that is the water and the food tubes of a plant. We will not go into details of these right now. Coming to another scenario, one common example of grafting is used in avocado or the butterfruit plant. I have this plant actually with me. You can see the video of this plant. In fact, this was grown from a seed. If you have ever tried to grow an avocado tree from an avocado seed, you know that the resulting tree isn't very strong. This is because the avocado trees that produce the best fruit don't have the best support system. They put all of their energy into producing tasty fruit part, so that they don't have a lot of energy left over for things like strong roots or good defenses and things like that. This is why avocados are so expensive. There is a certain breed of avocados that produces a really strong tree but not very good fruit. This tree can live in many different kinds of soil and the roots defend themselves from diseases. But no one wanted to grow these trees because the avocados were not tasty. Thanks to grafting, it is now common practice to take the scion from one tree and graft it into the rootstock of the other, producing a new tree with strong roots and delicious fruits. Wow, what an idea, isn't it? All this thanks to grafting. Now coming to various grafting methods. Grafting is pretty easy thing to accomplish. There are several types of graftings that you can choose from, depending on what you want to accomplish. First thing is the approach grafting, first method. Here two fully formed plants are attached together at their stems, leaving the leaves above and the roots below intact without completely cutting anything on both the plants. A small pod on the side of each stem is stripped of bark and the newly exposed tissue is pressed together. The stems are tied together to allow time for the tissue to heal over, kind of like forming a scab over a cut or wound in medical practice. Well, this plant scab will bind the two stems together permanently. Next method is tea budding. It is a technique in which the scion is reduced to a single bud instead of a whole branch. The bud is removed from its original plant along with a small portion of bark and the underlying tissue. It is then nestled into a cut made into the rootstock stem and tied in place. After the graft has healed over, the stem of the rootstock above the newly grafted bud is removed and the bud will grow. Thirdly, the most common used technique is called cleft grafting and yields strong grafts. In this type of graft, the rootstock is often larger than the scion. Actually, a split or cleft is made into the rootstock, which is wedged open. The scion is stripped of its bark at one end and the stripped end is sliced into a sharp angle. This angled scion is then placed into the rootstock cleft and bounded up until the graft heals. It is possible to graft more than one scion to a single rootstock in this manner, and this is the preferred method for grafting fruit trees. There are many other specialized techniques for grafting, but the basic method is the same, like exposing the cambium and encourage it to form new vascular tissue. The more cambium exposed, the stronger the graft and the more likely your new plant's parts will live. So coming to the factors for successful grafting. First thing is compatibility of scion and the stock. Because grafting involves the joining of vascular tissues between the scion and the rootstock, plants lacking vascular cambium cannot be normally grafted. As a general rule, the closer two plants are genetically, the more likely the graft union will be successful. Secondly, the cambium alignment and pressure. The vascular cambium of the scion and the stalk should be tightly pressed together and oriented in the direction of normal growth. Proper alignment and pressure encourages the tissues to join quickly, allowing the nutrients and water to transfer from the stalk root to the scion. Proper care of graft site is must. After grafting, it is important to nurse the grafted plant back to health for a period of time. Various grafting tapes and waxes are to be used to protect the scion and stalk from excessive water loss. Furthermore, depending on the type of graft, twine or string is used to add structural support to the grafting site. Sometimes it is necessary to prune the site, as the rootstock may produce shoots that inhibit the growth of the scion. Now, coming to grafting tools. We use various grafting knives or cutting tools. They have to be really sharp to minimize the tissue damage and clean from dirt and other substances to avoid the spread of diseases. A good knife for general grafting should have a blade and handle length of about 3 inches and 4 inches respectively. Now, graft seals. Keeping the graft site hydrated, good seals should be tight enough to retain moisture, while at the same time loose enough to accommodate plant growth. This includes specialized types of clays, waxes, petroleum jellies, and adhesive types. Other tools like tying and supporting tools like supporting materials are required. Then one more thing is grafting machines are sometimes useful for automation, because grafting can take a lot of time and skill. So grafting machines have been created for automation and fast job. Well, there is a lot more about grafting. We'll not go into the depths. That's all in this video, friends.